All right, we're back with the Game Technology Theater here at the NVIDIA booth with our last presentation for the day. Please feel free to come in and take a seat. I'd like to introduce Lee Brimlow and Tom Kircha from Adobe. So here we go. Take it away, guys.
Thank you. Whoa. Wow, where's all the applause? Come on, you're the two people. We really need to hear it. I love presenting on the expo floor, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
It's yeah. There's a lot of stuff to distract you, but let's get started. So we're just going to talk about what we at Adobe are doing right now surrounding gaming. And we're really happy to be here with NVIDIA, who we work really closely with to get our content to run really impressively. So who are we? Again, I'm Lee Brimlow. This is Tom Kircha from Czech Republic, right?
Yep.
Keeping it real from the Czech Republic. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the Czech Republic.
Well, we love beer.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you love beer?
I do love beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nice girls and everything.
Nice.
It's a nice country, by the way.
Oh, great. So we're both gaming evangelists at Adobe. So let's just talk a little bit about Flash for games. Obviously, Flash is the dominant player for games on the web. It always has been. And one of the things that obviously is really beneficial for Flash is unsurpassed reach, right, Tom?
Yep.
I mean, you get to everybody.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, thanks for that feedback. Yeah. So, and that's definitely a major benefit for Flash. And we'll show you some examples of this. So 9 of the top 10 Facebook games are built in Flash, which is huge as far as when games are deciding what technology to use. That's a big deciding factor, is how much reach they can get. So one of the things that just was released recently is the new version of Angry Birds for Facebook, right? And you actually helped out a little bit with that, didn't you?
A little bit, yeah. And we're going to see it today, so you'll be able to see and also play it later on your own Facebook account.
So one of the big, because I saw at the Chrome booth, they're showing an Angry Birds demo, which is really cool.
Yep.
But when it came time to decide the actual technology to use on Facebook, it was Flash, and that was because of the reach and the consistency that they get. So why don't you just talk a little bit while I demo it here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great, Tom.
So Angry Birds for Facebook, yeah. Have you guys played it? Yep. No, you didn't? You definitely check it out because it's on apps.facebook.com/angerbirds. And there are a couple new features that have never been there before. For instance, like power-ups. And you've got also like 5 times more particles than ever before.
Right. So again, the deciding factor for Rovio on choosing Flash was because they can use Stage3D to do all these advanced effects and, again, reach everybody on the net. So it's going to show you a little bit of how that looks. Again, one of the nice things when you're in Flash, you can actually go full screen to play the game in full screen experience. And this is using a new Stage3D technology, which enables all of this to run on the GPU. So I'm just going to go to one of these here. And there's a lot about this version of Angry Birds, which is unique to Facebook. There's all these additional power-up modes that you can get, things like that. The game itself, well, it's Angry Birds, right? We've all played this before. That's what it looks like. Again, some of these new power-ups are pretty cool. Different ways in which you can react. Again, these things are specific to Facebook. And I can do things like use the Mighty Eagle here, which you have to pay for on mobile. But we get it free here on Facebook, Tom.
Yep, absolutely.
And we can see this thing's going to come down and totally take out the scene. But again, this is using Stage3D and the Starling framework.
Which is in Flash Player 11, actually, and everything runs on GPUs. So on Windows, it's DirectX, and on a Mac, it's OpenGL.
Yeah. So again, when it comes time to decide on a technology for your games, the consistency and the reach are 2 big factors that play into that. Tom, you have to try to get more people here.
Yeah.
I don't think obviously we're not impressing anybody. People are walking by. Look at this. They don't give it. I mean, come on. What? Whatever. It's hard working on this floor.
It is,
right? All right, well, let's go back to the slides.
So
Not a lot of
again,
slides.
I'd like to add one thing. One of the really important things, just to double up, it's really like the unsurpassed reach. And that means basically that with Flash, you can reach 11 times more people than if targeting just consoles, for instance.
Yep.
You know, so that's a very important factor, and that's why Angry Birds on Facebook, right, with Flash.
So this is just a small sampling of who's building games on Flash. It's obviously some of the biggest that you've heard of, that you've probably seen today. EA, Epic, Zynga, PopCap, Wooga, Rovio, all of them choosing to deliver their web games using Flash. So our two latest runtimes, Flash Player 11.2, this is how you deliver Flash games to browsers. And then we have Adobe Air, which is how you package Flash-based games for iOS, Android, BlackBerry. So again, building a game once, you can reach the entire web, and iOS, Android, and BlackBerry. That's pretty impressive, isn't it, Tom?
Yep, absolutely. I love it.
That's excellent. Because we're paid to say that, but it is actually pretty good. Right, Enrique? And that's our boss right there, staring us down. So, hey, what do you want from me here? One of the nice things about Flash is you can extend it, right? So we put a lot of nice things into Flash and Air, but you can extend it easily to enable game-specific things like Game Center, in-app purchases, ad networks, things like that.
Basically, you can tap into any native feature on the device.
You can tap right into it.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
tap it.
Yep.
Yep. So one of the nice things is we're developing some really advanced tooling that allow you to profile your games at a really low level. Now, Tom, I'm going to need you to talk and narrate over this while I do it, because it requires two hands.
Right, so Monocle, that's the new profiling technology we're working on. So before we had only Flash Builder Profiler, and if you really wanted to find out where you have some sort of like a glitch and so on in your app, it was nearly impossible, you know. So right now, you can actually profile your app frame by frame and find out which frames are heavy and intensive on CPU, and find out where the bug is, for instance, or memory leaks and so on, you know.
Yeah, so this is a new tool that we're developing called Monocle. And what this allows you to do is to profile Flash content that's live on the web in the release player. So I have Monocle open right now. What I'm going to do is just go to a piece of Flash content. So let me just go to it here. This is a Stage3D game. And you can see immediately, as soon as I went to the Flash movie, it's starting my profiling session. So it's collecting all of this data about my session. So I'm just going to go here and just play a little bit. So everything I'm doing is being tracked inside of Monocle. All right, so let me close that. So now I have all of this profiling information. And you can see I can move these panels really easily, Tom, and just I can use this scale feature. See how colorful it gets? That's impressive,
like
right?
Yeah, nice, beautiful.
But it does more than that, right? So what I can do is look on each individual frame and see how long the rendering took, how long the action script took to execute. So here I'm able to see both the Flare 3D game action script calls and the Flash Player calls. I can sort them and see how long each individual piece of code took to execute. I can also get an overall reading here of the difference between rendering time, action script time. I can also click and drag across multiple frames, which is going to give me an average of the performance across those frames.
Exactly. So you can also find out if you are using like 30% of the budget that you have like for a specified frame, or you can also see like if you are over the budget per the specified frame. And if you're over budget, that means like the FPS actually goes down, you know. So you're always trying to be like below the budget you actually have for the specified frame.
So I have all this debug information, but I want to know about how things are being rendered on the GPU, right? And this could be an NVIDIA card, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A Tegra card.
Tegra.
We were just talking about how much we love Tegra cards, right?
I love it.
Yeah, I actually named my daughter Tegra. She gets hassled quite a bit, but that's, again, it's just that's how much we love NVIDIA cards.
Yep.
So here I can see all the individual draw triangles calls that are happening on the GPU. So this is great. I can look through these and see how much time each of these GPU calls took. But what if I actually want to see my scene as it's being built? So I can go to the Stage3D simulator. And in my game now, I can actually go through all the draw triangles calls, and you can see my scene being reconstructed piece by piece. So each mesh which is drawn and the texture which is used is actually showing up when I hit the space bar. So on this particular frame, I can see how the scene was actually drawn to the screen. I can look at whether I had any issues and really drill down at a low level.
Yeah, and you can also see that in this scenario we're using actually too many draw calls. Like the.
Yep. And another thing I can do is actually replay back my scene. So I can click and drag, and you can see I'm essentially able to replay my session
step by step.
Step by step as I played the game. This is essentially a recording where I can get the information about how things happened here. So I can wait until I get to a certain point of the game where I knew a glitch happened or something and find out that information. So
this is basically why we see Monocle bringing huge value for game developers, especially when working on GPU.
Yep. So these are an example of some of the advanced profiling tools we're looking at. So that's Monocle. Stage3D, that's probably our biggest thing that we've created for Flash for games. And this is a new GPU-accelerated rendering engine for Flash. So Stage3D essentially allows you to take your graphics and run them on the GPU. It's an API that's very similar to OpenGL. And to give you an idea of the kind of power this gives you as a game developer, we want to show you a demo that was obviously created by Epic, which Tom is going to show you. So if we can switch to the other laptop. I guess I'll take mine out of here, Tom.
So yeah, so we have Flash Player 11 running here, but imagine it's running in the browser. And we will show you the future of Flash gaming where we see it, like in a very soon. Okay. So this is basically Unreal Tournament 3 running inside Flash. Let me take you through the demo here. So as you can see, there are a couple cameras defined. We're basically floating around the scenes. And what if we want to play the game? So I just hit this button.
So that wasn't video. This is actually real.
Yeah. Okay. So let me. I think it has happened something.
What happened, Tom?
I actually closed it. So let me run it again.
That's.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. It's a real world.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't a polished thing where we do like 50 takes and try to get it perfect. Anything can happen. And that's
absolutely. So
the way it is.
Let me load it for you guys.
So this is obviously just a tech demo.
Yeah.
So this is a big, rather large file size, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, this was essentially NVIDIA being able to port their entire Unreal Engine to ActionScript into Flash to run in the Flash player in the browser.
Okay, we are in. Imagine this on Facebook.
Yeah, so the goal is that, when you're on Facebook, we're used to playing like Angry Birds or Cityville or things like that. In the future, you're going to be playing console quality games like Unreal Tournament right in the browser with Flash on Facebook and other social networks. And this is the type of power that, again, the Stage3D engine gives you. Now, we're working really closely with Epic on this, and this is something that you're going to be able to play pretty soon. And again, the idea is that you're going to be able to build games in, say, UDK, and you're going to be able to export to Flash so that you can play these games in the browser. So you can imagine like a new Xbox or a PS3 game, you can maybe play a demo level right in the browser without downloading anything to get you to maybe buy the actual title for the console.
Right.
So pretty impressive.
What do you think, guys? Good?
So Flash has come a long way. All right, Tom, that's enough.
And this is where we see the future.
Yeah.
So one of the other demos we want to show you is Epic Citadel demo. This is a game originally built for iPad and also Basically, they build it through UDK and our Alchemy compiler to Flash as well. So let me load it. So how does it work? Let me explain you a couple of technical sides of the solution that allows you to basically compile your own C++ code to Flash. So we've got technology called Alchemy, and through Alchemy you can basically take existing C and C++ code and compile it to Flash by binding the calls, draw calls from OpenGL to Stage3D and so on.
Yep.
So this is Epic Citadel.
So again, this was a demo that they originally put out for the iPad. And again, we're able to easily port it to Flash using a technology like Tom was mentioning called Alchemy, which actually will take C and C++ code and C++ games and essentially convert them into versions that you can play inside of the Flash player. So this is a technology that's going to be coming out soon. The folks across the way, Unity, are also doing a similar type of thing where you can export from their tool to Flash as well. So again, it's going to enable console quality games right inside of the browser. So pretty impressive.
All right. So one of the other games I want to show you is coming from Russia. It's a game called Tanky Online.
Unity Power.
Yeah. I'm going to get it here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So this is a game out of Russia, right, Tom?
Yep, absolutely.
It's close to your where you're from, right? Or no,
Yep.
not that close?
Not that close, but as you can see, this is basically a social multiplayer game where you can play against others with your tank. Again, running inside the browser in Flash Player.
And this is using the one of the great things, again, when you're building your games on Flash is that there's a huge ecosystem of
frameworks,
Flash, frameworks, developers that have been doing this stuff for 20 years. So again, this is using one of the frameworks called Alternativa out of Russia. And again, you can see the amazing quality. And with Stage3D Flash Player 11, the performance, performance is not an issue. And for us, we're setting our goals so that we can run these console quality games so that if you build a more simple, like casual social game, you're not going to run into any performance problems because, again, we're making it so that you're going to be able to play Unreal Tournament inside of Flash Player. So any other less intensive games are not going to be a problem.
All right, so from the other side, I want to show you a demo, which is called Nima. That's a game originally developed by Frigma Studios.
Yep.
And they're coming from Canada. And it's MMORPG game for the web. You can choose your character, shoulders, wrist, skirt, and so on. Hit OK. It will load up the map. I can walk around like that. As you can see, it's basically a simple RPG MMO game in 3D. Right?
And this is using their own engine, right?
Yeah.
Their own custom engines. So when you're working with Stage3D, you can either do it at a really low level, like OpenGL type API, or you can use an existing framework, which abstracts all of that low level stuff, so you can just write simple ActionScript code.
As we actually come here, you can see like
so
waterfalls, and all these waterfalls are done via shaders, and so on. I can cast spells, which are like particle effects done via Pyro editor. And so
so it just had a question about what type of machine does the end user need to have in order to play this type of stuff. And right now we're in the middle of when we first launched Stage3D, you have to have a driver that was 2009 or newer, which only equated to about 60% of people. So right now we're in the process of moving that back to as low as 2005. So we are releasing within the next couple of days Flash Player 11.2, which restricts it down, relaxes it to 2007. So that actually will, what's that?
2008.
2008.
But later on, we're actually planning to release another update,
and
which
the player
will take
after
it down to
that
2006, 2005. these graphic cards.
Yeah.
So that's definitely the plan. Cover like 80%. No. That's definitely coming this year.
So in a couple of days, it will be relaxed to 2008. Oh.
Yeah.
We don't have an exact time frame.
Yeah.
But it is important also to note that Stage3D has a software fallback. So even if somebody doesn't have a supported GPU, they'll be able to view it in software mode. Now, yeah. So like the Unreal Tournament 3, I wouldn't want to play that in software mode. I would, it's not going to work, right? So, so again, our goal is to relax the drivers so that more people. Yeah. So what do you got going now, Tom?
Delta Strike.
Oh yeah.
So that's one of the games built in Austria, and it's like a social Facebook game in 3D with Stage3D and Flash. And later on, we'll also show you this game running on iPad. So basically, from the same code base, you'll be able to target like Facebook, Android devices, iOS devices, and so on.
Yep.
Right. So it's loading some time, but let's see if it actually loads.
And as part of our ongoing work, we're working really hard with hardware vendors like NVIDIA to get our stuff running as fast as possible. And that's what's allowing us to do these console quality games in Flash now. So what class of game is this? What genre? Space shooter?
Space shooter?
Yeah,
could be, I don't know.
It could be.
Yeah. You have to solve different quests, shoot basically some spaceships.
So here's an example of a Stage3D game that actually is in Facebook right now called Delta Strike. This is using the Away 3D engine for Flash. It's a free open source 3D engine for Flash, again, using those Stage3D APIs. And what we just announced the other day is we have Stage3D now available on mobile, so on Android and on iOS. So you can port these really intensive games now using Flash to iOS and Android. I think they get the idea on that one.
Okay.
How about some Nazi aliens?
Could be. All right, so let me show you Black Sun. Black Sun is a game coming from France.
This is built with yet another free 3D engine for Flash called Minko. And the goal of this game is, and this has a lot of HDR and bloom effects. And essentially you're trying to kill Nazi aliens, right?
Aliens, yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's another one of those. But you can see really, really nice lighting effects. And so definitely, again, one of the benefits of deploying to Flash is you have all of these really advanced frameworks, most of them which are free to use to bring your games to the web and to mobile platforms.
Yeah,
that comes at the end.
Yeah, that comes at the end. Yeah. Right.
That's the big close, you know.
So that's Black Sun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right. So what else we have here?
We have that big list, right?
Yep. There's some Juke.
Yeah. So this is a good example of something that's not just a game. One of the things Flash has been used for years is for high-end advertising sites. So this is an example of an advertising site for a car, but also has game elements in it. So you can see this is essentially allows you to customize the Nissan Juke. So you can change the wheels, and you can go ahead and actually you can jump into the car. And this is extremely high resolution, for the web anyway, a high res model. You didn't spend too much time in the interior, but that's okay. You want to start driving.
Yeah.
So this is, again, using the free Away 3D engine. And, again, really, really nice. It's a combination of a game and an advertising site. So you probably heard a lot about Flash, like, well, it's dead, HTML5 is blah, 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 blah. These type of experiences right now is only possible inside of Flash if you want to reach the largest possible audience. So don't believe the hype.
It's very important. So, perfect. Nissan Juke, let me get back here to customize. I just wanted to show you again one more thing. As you can see, you can apply these different shader effects here. So for instance, like here, I can just pick the color nicely down.
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, so let me check what we have here.
We can move to mobile now if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, actually, let me hold on. Just give me a second here.
Okay.
Talk about the gaming site. So talk about it. How we just launched it. Tom.
Yeah. So basically, we have recently launched a new website, which is called gaming.adobe.com, and it's about gaming solutions at Adobe. You can find more sources there, like why to choose Flash, where are the showcases, where to get started, and so on. You know. So there are also pretty nice quotes from other companies saying nice things about Flash. And
so here's an example quote, and this is from Mark Rain from Epic, that the Flash Player version of Unreal Tournament actually ended up looking better than the version that they shipped on PS3 and Xbox 360. So this is not, like a dumbed down version of it. But anyway, we just launched this site yesterday, gaming.adobe.com. It has a full showcase. So if you want to look at some of the games that are coming out, again, these are both on the web and on mobile. Definitely check out this site, and we'll continue to update it often. It has, so in the showcase, we can see here that some of them have either links to the direct game or links to YouTube videos. Yep. So, all right, so this is good, Stage3D, it's impressive, but what about mobile, right? Because people have been waiting for this technology to come to mobile for a long time.
Yeah, so this story actually starts here with Machinarium. It's one of the games that was originally built for browser and also for desktop. And basically, what they did is they took this game and ported it on iPad in a matter of months. So it was pretty quick. When you imagine, like, what would you have to do if you would have to rewrite a game natively for the device, So that's why we have technology which is called Adobe Air that lets you compile Flash applications to mobile devices, So let me just show you quickly how this game looks like here on desktop, and I will show you the same game running on iPad very soon. As you can see, there's some animation going on here.
Yeah, it takes a while to get past the...
Yeah. So it's basically an adventure game from Czech Republic, and it was #1 game on App Store in 13 countries, and also on Mac App Store.
Got to project, Tom.
Yep. So
we're on the expo floor hall. There's a lot of competition.
Yep. So this is how the game basically runs in the browser, but let me show you how the game runs.
Looks on the iPad.
On the iPad.
We switch to the iPad. So we just released Stage3D for mobile, and this game actually, Machinarium, was released before Stage3D. So this is using just regular Flash,
display list rendering, and
regular Flash display list rendering. It is a beautiful splash screen. If you have to be stuck on any screen, I would want to be on that screen.
So let me resume the game.
So this is using a technology that's not the most recent. This isn't using Stage3D. This is using just regular Flash display list, GPU. This is not a really intensive game. It's a puzzle game, beautiful artwork. But again, even without using Stage3D, this was the #1 game in the App Store.
Promoted by Apple.
It was the game of the week by Apple, and that's one of the things that people still don't realize is that you can create Flash games and get them on the iPad, on the iPhone, on Android devices. We don't have Flash in the browser on iOS. That's fine, but we can publish them as apps, which is really, to be honest with you, is quite a bit more important to be able to do that than run in the browser. So let's take a look at some of the Stage3D stuff that's coming out. Again, we just released this last week. Now, here's an example again of something that's not a game. But it's using Stage3D to essentially create a music visualizer. So you can just hit play. You got to hit play first, I think.
Yeah.
Although, do you have an internet connection on that thing?
I'm not sure.
Well, take my word for it. It's unbelievable. If you had seen it, it's almost better that you didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't have internet connection.
Yeah, we don't have internet on the iPad.
So
that's
anyway,
fine.
Let me show you something else here. Most of these games we're going to show you today are basically built on the new Stage 3 rendering engine, and one of these games I want to show you is coming from China. It's called Bullet Sky, and it's really nice showcase of top-down shooter.
So this is a top-down shooter, built-in Flash, deployed to the iPad, and essentially it's a really good test for performance because of the amount of stuff that's going on in this game. So just start at one of the earlier levels.
Absolutely.
Okay, crank that up. So it's a top-down shooter. You can tell. Lots of stuff going on the screen. 60 frames per second, solid frame rate, built-in Flash, again, with Stage3D, because everything now is running on the GPU. We get really good performance. Now, the thing with this game, this is actually one of the slower levels. So go to level 5 and just watch the chaos. So it's almost ridiculous. Like, how could you play that level? Because you can't even see what's going on. But this is a good stress test for Flash about, can Flash actually, whoa. Well, now we have to compete with these Intel people. What's up with that? Why are they here?
All right, so
all right,
now we get a sense
processors.
what you can do with Stage3 on mobile devices.
Yeah, you can see that's a good test of performance.
Yeah, so let me show you a couple of the practical usage of such technology.
So this is a good kids game right here because it's all about the kids in the end. That's what we say around the office, right?
Yeah.
It's the smile we see on the children's face.
All right.
Tom, I'm going over here. This is exciting.
All right, so what you have to do here is get rid of this fog here by touching the screen.
Yep.
Switch to English, hit start, and we're going to skip it here.
So this is Winter on Whale Island. Again, a kids game built using Stage3D. Coming to the App Store very soon, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I can take the sound here with my finger.
And again, when
I can resize it.
Yeah, so you have multi-touch available, all of those APIs that you're used to.
And I can
fish swimming. There you go.
And I have to combine these clouds together, like using this gesture.
Yep. So really nice kids game. Yeah, it's nice.
Beautiful. It will just start snowing here.
It's almost magical, I would say. It could be a stretch. I don't know. Hey, what's up? You brought me a beer. Thanks. No, it's okay. All right, that's good, Tom. That's enough.
All right.
It's supposed to be for kids.
It is
you
beautiful.
Can't,
yeah.
You seem enthralled by it.
So one of the other games I want to show you is called Geometry Arena. And this is the game which actually could remind you games like Geometry Wars and so on, like 8-bit games. But you will see that you can really use a lot of particles, glow effects, and so on. Yeah.
You're really good at that one.
I know.
So, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not really good in this game, but you can imagine. You'll be able to get a game very soon in the App Store, and together with that, the game will support Game Center thanks to native extensions. So basically, you will be able to share your score on the leaderboards with other friends and so on.
So that was built with Genome. Oh, thank you, man.
It was
Appreciate
built
it.
with
Cheers.
Genome 2D. Yeah.
I love the Unity guys.
So, but as you know, it's not only about the games. I want to show you an app that might be quite interesting for you. What is with this?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I know,
Good.
but what is with my computer?
Do you need the computer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hang on a sec.
So what are you showing here, Tom?
Yeah, I'm showing augmented reality, actually.
Ah, yeah.
It's a big topic, and
so that's like I take my camera and I can see things that aren't there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But my PC is probably not working well. Anyway, so I'm not sure if I can show that demo, but let me see what else we have here.
Are there any questions about what we've showed? Oh, yeah.
So one of the games actually built with Stage3 is called Spaced Away, and it just went to App Store.
Hold on, wait till you finish.
And you can download it right now for iPhone and iPad.
So I just had a question about Adobe Air and how that fits into all of this. So the real simple answer is you're always going to be building your games in Flash, right? So You can build it in Flash, put it on the web for everybody to see. Then, essentially, you can think of Air as a special compiler. And what it will do is it will take your Flash game, convert it. So let's take iOS, iPad, iPhone. This compiler will actually take that Flash game, cross-compile it into a native iOS application, which then can run on the iPad and the iPhone. And we have the same thing for Android, BlackBerry. Air is essentially a way to run Flash as a standalone application. Whereas regular Flash content plays in the browser, Air allows you to do games for iOS, Android, BlackBerry. Yeah, so that's a good question. Yeah, so the whole Apple thing, and that's essentially, they said we don't want Flash Player, we don't want Air runtime. Okay, that's fine. So we created this compiler, which basically takes Flash content, cross-compiles it into a format that Apple is okay with, and in fact, that whole thing with Apple is pretty much over now. I think we're doing things in a way which they agree with now, and they've been promoting Flash-based games on the store, so it's actually I think we're in a good situation, first time in a while. So like, I mean, obviously, if you have a Flash game in the browser that's, certain dimensions and stuff like that, and you want to bring it to the iPad, you're going to have to make some changes for, like, 1024 by 768. You might want to also take advantage of device-specific features, like multi-touch, accelerometer, things like that. So you're probably definitely going to have to do some work to make it fit perfectly on the device. But the actual code, the game assets, the gameplay, all of that, you don't need to touch.
So this is another game built with Stage3D. You basically have to take this cannon and shoot these loopas around. Yeah, like that. So as you can imagine, like, you can build 2D games, 3D games, everything pretty much. Yeah.
Yep. Any other questions about Flash, Stage3D, Air? No? You can get that working?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the augmented reality, right?
Move the mouse here.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to show you the augmented reality demo. So what you can do with that is basically combine the Stage3D layer and image processing APIs.
You're not back yet. You're not back yet.
Yeah. It's coming back?
No. There we go. You got it.
All right. So as you can see, I have an image here, and I am projecting the 3D object while detecting the image,
So this isn't like the old augmented reality when you need... Yeah, all right, we don't need to see that. I mean, come on. It's like the old augmented reality. You have to have that little black marker. Now you can just do it on images.
And it works pretty smoothly, even on iPad.
Yeah.
That's nice. So again, Adobe Air is not only for gaming, but the gaming is the focus where we are basically orienting our efforts,
Yep.
So that means like the best performance available, stage 3D rendering, enabling the gaming features that gaming developers actually need and use every day.
Sounds good, Tom.
Yep.
I mean, you impressed me, but then,
So let me show one of the games that has been actually featured on Adobe on Apple App Store a week ago. It's called Loom, and it's one of the IGF finalists in the...
And the award show is tonight, right?
Yeah, the award show is tonight, and they're one of the finalists in Excellence in Design. The game was built with Adobe Air, and...
So this is not Stage3D, right?
It's not Stage3D at all. This is just the combination of videos and displayless rendering to build a nice adventure game. So we're gonna start a new game here. And you can see the game over there at the IGF awards, and you can also talk with the creators and so on.
So this actually has a lot of video in it. A lot of stuff was created in After Effects, and they actually had a real model, right, that they filmed?
Yeah, from paper.
Yeah, so this is actually a paper cardboard model that they, that they filmed and then brought them into After Effects to add all of these kind of 3D effects to them. And it's a puzzle-based game. Again, really, really nice. And I think they have a good shot at winning the award tonight, don't you think?
Okay.
Yeah, you don't think so?
So one of the last things.
Yeah, yeah. We have time.
Yep, Land of Me. So
Take your time, Tom.
this is another game which is basically targeting kids
Gather
and
round
children.
now. That's
And
right. All settled? Lovely.
It's like a book, interactive
So,
book, where
who
you can
would
like
you
hear
like
the stories
story
from the
to be
old
about, my
turtle.
little dears? Every story needs a hero, don't you know? Ha ha! So,
Unfortunately, you cannot hear
is
it right
it
now, but it's
Eric,
available in the App Store. You can get it right now
Buddy
and
Boo,
try playing with it
or
immediately.
Willow?
Can you tell a story about me, Granny Olive?
Super. Now, what would this story be about? The wolf and the...
Make it the one about the wolf.
Lovely, dear. Now...
Funny, please, this time.
Lovely jubbly. If everybody's settled,
So if you have kids,
they
you wanna,
say that all owls are incredibly wise. But Willow was smarter than most for her size. All her friends knew without a shadow of doubt. If there was a problem, she'd figure it out.
so things like that. So this game was built basically with Flash Professional, which is animating tool in from Adobe, and basically they combine all these animations together and put together a nice game for kids. Okay.
All right, Tom, what else do you have?
Okay, so let me show you a couple of the apps that are not really just games, but are definitely worth showing, so you can like imagine what else you can build with Adobe Air. You know?
So this is a really early one, right?
Yep.
This is pretty old, actually.
Yeah.
Without Stage3D. It's skis, you know. You got a shop for your skis.
Yeah, you can like pinch to zoom to skis. Like that.
Not everything has to be a game, you know.
Yeah.
I know we're at GDC, we all like to play games, but there's other things out there.
You can see some photos and so on, you know. So you can really build apps that look totally like native with Adobe Air and port them to multiple devices, Android, web,
Yeah.
and so on.
But again,
Nice.
the goal is you build in Flash, you can deploy to the web, and you can deploy to these devices with very minimal amount of changes to code.
Yep.
So, yeah. Any questions? No? I think we're done early. Yeah? Unless, I mean, you want to come up and say a few things? No?